Coming up on Janice Edwards Bay Area Vista, we're talking with a man whose bright plans for his future have not been dimmed by either paralysis nor personal loss. The inspirational story of Darryll Rice. That's up next on Bay Area Vista. Welcome to Bay Area Vista. I'm Janice Edwards, and thank you so much for joining us today. At the age of 20, Darryll Rice's life changed forever. And despite what happened to him at that age because of paralysis, he continues to inspire others with his vision, his story, and his spirit. We are excited to have him with us today on Bay Area Vista. Darryll, nice to see you, and thank you so much for allowing us into your home.
You're welcome. I appreciate you being here.
Yes. You know, I mentioned in the beginning that at the age of 20, your life changed. Can you tell me what happened?
Yes, I was one day just sitting around my house, and a friend came by and told me that someone had a puppy in there, take it away, and explained to me about who had it, and I remember who it was. And I know him, and maybe I can help you get it back. Come on, I'll give you a little my time to help you. And I went around to try to help. And from what I was told and some of what I can remember, it was just that they just didn't want to return the animal to the person I was trying to help. So they got angry and just came out and started shooting.
They just came out and started shooting about the puppy?
Well, they went back in the house, and they come back out of the house, and they started shooting.
Oh my gosh.
So it was just, like I say, it's my fault. I went to help. I wasn't intending on hurting nobody, anything. But it happened, and I don't blame nobody. I take full responsibility for what happened, and hopefully everybody, have learned.
Well, hopefully they have, and that's really admirable that you say that. Just for clarification, so you're 20 years old, and what were you doing with your life at the time?
Just still trying to find myself.
So trying to find yourself.
Trying to find myself, working here and working different places, just freelance working with different people, and just really just trying to find yourself like
20-year-olds do.
That's right.
You went to help someone, and all of a sudden, tragically, your life changed forever. And you said that you were told a lot. I imagine you don't remember. What do you remember about what happened?
What I remember, I don't remember much.
But you were paralyzed because of the shooting, as a result of the shooting.
When I was paralyzed, I woke up after being shot, and I didn't know what was going on. It must have been maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning, it's pitch dark. In the ICU, but I didn't know I was in the ICU. I thought I was somebody had me tied down, and I was struggling to get up, and I started yelling out, someone, untie me. Why you got me tied down? And then a nurse that was in charge on the graveyard field came over and said to me, You need to calm down, Darryll. You've been shot. And no, 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 no. Y'all have me tied down. Let me up, let me up. So I got very hysterical and just enraged that I couldn't believe that I was shot or paralyzed.
And after the shock of recognizing and realizing what you were being told in the hospital, how was life different once you came out of the hospital and had to make the adjustments? You were unable to move your legs, your hands?
Well, before I was able to come out of the hospital, I was so traumatized mentally. I didn't want to live. So I was trying to get anybody and everybody to turn my machine off.
Turn off your ventilator?
I was trying to get the ventilator.
Because the ventilator is what helps you breathe.
It keeps me alive.
Yes.
And I was just, couldn't believe I would have to have a machine to breathe for the rest of my life. And I didn't want that. But then I told one friend, man, one of my sisters, I came back from Louisiana, and she came to visit me. And after she was the last one, she repeated what I said to my grandmother, and it hurt my grandmother. And my father came and saw me and spoke to me in some very strong words that I almost called my grandmother to have a heart attack. And I need to stop this and be the person you are. So I said, okay.
So basically no more talk of trying to have someone help you commit suicide, but to face what had happened.
Yeah, I said no more. No more. From now on, I will live for my family, and I won't let my family down.
Your story, I know, is touching so many people who are hearing this, because many times something happens in life and we talk about the new normal. You adjust to life not being what it was, but such a drastic change, and your feelings of being suicidal are some that a lot of people can identify with, and yet you had family to help remind you that who you are is so vital and that you were needed, even though it was so different from before being shot.
Yeah. If it wasn't from family and some friends, I wouldn't have made it this far. It's been many friends and nurses who helped me get to this point, because I'm just the mental part. I need help physically. And I'm in control of my care, because I've been taught by the best nurses how to live, how to take care of myself for the rest of my life. And by being taught how to take care of myself, has gotten me to this point.
Yes, because we're talking, and of course you look young for your age, we're talking 33 years later.
At 33.
You have practiced self-care. You have a nurse 24 hours a day, correct?
I have 3 nurses.
You have 3 nurses, so you have, but there's someone who always has to be with you.
Yes, I can't be left alone for 2 minutes, because of my ventilator malfunction or my tubing become dislodged from my trach, then I can suffocate within about 2 to 3 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
So, but I'm not afraid of it. I accepted it. I embrace it. I make the best of it. Because when I'm not, I call on my sister, and she always just helps set me.
Your sister Trina.
My sister Trina.
She always inspires you.
Oh, yeah, she'll just tell me.
Well, you know, one of the things that, as you're sharing, that I think about is how you inspire others, because you said you take full responsibility and you didn't stay stuck in bitterness. What advice would you offer anyone who might be dealing with a shock, a loss in their life, sometimes with things much less daunting than what you faced? Many of us are in despair.
I would say think before you act. Take your time. Take it one day at a time. And by one day, it means minute by minute. Just take your time. Enjoy the best of the day and think about what you want to do, how you want to do it, who you want to do it with, who helped you when you're having a bad moment in between those minutes, and just don't focus on what happened to you or ask why, because why can never be answered. And don't dwell on it, because it's not something that you can't, you don't have control over the whole situation, but you can make the best.
You can control your attitude.
Yes, you control your attitude and just be kind to other people. Because people that are around you that's trying to help you is what makes life easier.
You mentioned the nurses who were so helpful when you were at the hospital, but you have had some of the same doctors for more than 20 years. Tell me how your doctors have made a difference in your care.
Well, for one, they listen. And they don't just try to take control. We work together. They ask me what worked for me, and I give them my reply. And they always say to me, hey, let's try this. Okay, let's do this. They get my input, with the input, they wanna keep me alive.
Everett Rice is Darryl's younger brother, and he joins us now. Thank you for being here as well. Thank you for allowing us in.
Thank you.
Do you remember when Darryll was injured? You must have been about 15 at that time. How did it impact you?
It was difficult. It was very difficult. Older brother, you know, someone you look up to. And when I first got the word that he was injured, I rushed to the hospital, and sure enough, that's when reality kind of set in for me.
And certainly, we tragically hear so many stories of shootings, and you grew up in Richmond. In the years since, as you've seen Darryll just really have such an incredible attitude, what have you learned from what he's endured?
Strong spirit. He's very willing. He's been there for the family. He's taught me how to continue on Even though you have your ups and downs, you know, you still have to continue living. You have to be strong. You have to survive.
And I understand you're both sports fans?
Yeah.
Very much.
Watch a lot of games together?
Well, when I'm down here visiting, yeah. You know, we've always been in basketball, football. We're very competitive. You know, the whole family has always been into sports. But yeah, every time I come down here and visit with him, if we're not watching something about animals, the Animal Planet, we're watching sports.
I had asked Darryll about some of the things that he could share with others who might face a situation like his. As his brother, what advice could you offer other family members who might have to deal with a loved one who endures a life-changing accident?
Like you said yesterday, just continue to love one another. Stay together. Believe in each other. All we have is each other.
And certainly the needs are different, but focus on also the similarities, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we all need to focus on what we need to do in life, you know. Again, it goes back to that strong spirit that he has always exercised. He's always, every day he shows an example. He's always given us the strength, you know, God bless you to be alive. You know, you got to stay strong.
So Darryll is the big brother. Do you boss him around still?
No.
No.
No. We're mutual. We just have each other's company. We just have fun in company. And like I said, when he comes down, we make the most of it. Enjoy each other and just keep ready.
Other than sports, are there any family rituals that you make sure you enjoy?
Yeah, we were talking about something a little while ago earlier about just stories and you know.
Stories, favorite meals, things like that.
All kinds of stories.
Can you tell me what about Darryll?
Let's see, the story that I know most is we were having a conversation and he told me, you don't listen enough. We both were young. This is before he got hurt. And he told me, he said, you need to listen more. You need to shut up. And something I always remember.
As you're thinking about this, I can tell you're moved. What is it that's touching you right now as you're speaking?
He's right. You gotta always listen. So that's one of the things that calm me. You know, no matter what I do in life, talking or when I'm taking care of personal business, even when I'm listening to him. Now you need to listen. So that was like 30 years ago. So it's helped.
And it still hits home in that way.
Oh yeah. It's the best advice you can give anybody. If you just listen, people listen to one another, I think you'll learn a lot more. You know, a book doesn't speak to you. You have to read it in order to understand and learn. That's what he's like. It's like my book.
Mark Lampkin is a videographer who's actually done a lot of work with Bay Area Vista, but today he's on the other side of the camera because he and Darryll have known each other for a number of years. Mark, how did you and Darryll meet?
Well, before I was a videographer, I actually was involved in healthcare services, and I managed an office that had an office in Vallejo. And so we had this patient that I heard about, 24-hour daycare patient by the name of Darryll Rice. This young guy that the nurses and others say, man, he's this rambunctious guy. He's got all this energy and he's upset with people. And so I didn't meet him for a whole year. And on his 30th birthday, the nursing supervisor, she said, well, come on, Mark, you got to come out and meet Darryll. So I said, all right, fine. So went out because they had a little party for him with cake and all that, and met him. And I mean, we just like, we hit it off. And we've been friends ever since. So since September 16th, 1990, we've been great friends.
Yes. And Darryll, for you, how has Mark helped you as a friend?
Oh, he's been a big friend when I need him, and just been really one of the biggest activists when I need to know something in healthcare or just something in life. You know, he's been there for me, you know, through the 25 years. And it's been good. And it, like you say, it's just, you just don't meet people like Mark, you know, every day like that, like the way we come together. And it helps me get through my my nursing and my just life, just having a friend, another good friend in my life.
That is so important. And you mentioned that he's an activist. So as a friend and also someone with experience in healthcare, what do you consider Darryll's most pressing needs at this point?
Well, over the last 5+ years, you know, the challenges in California healthcare are cutbacks. And, you know, someone like Darryll, as you see his life, it's full. You know, even with what might be physical limitations, he has a full life. And he needs to be able to have the nursing care. And it's a lot more economical, dollar-wise, for him to be in the home with 24/7 nursing than to be institutionalized, being in a hospital. And so the challenge is that, again, we need Medi-Cal to be able to now maybe increase some of their rates of pay to agencies, because it has to go through a nursing agency. Nurses who care for him should be paid well, because his care is important. As he had said, he can't be 2 minutes without his breathing. And so it's important for that to be respected, I believe, as well. So as we now are in an affordable care mindset in America, I think we have to look at people like Darryll as major assets who can teach us things about living, but that costs money. And again, it's a greater cost saving to have him at home than it would be to be in a hospital.
Yes, and certainly when we talk about health care, there's always a debate and there are always two sides to this. We're really focusing on Darryll's story today, but it's important to bring that out, because people who aren't aware of what a life-altering difference it makes can have a greater understanding about this particular side of the issue as well. Yeah. Trina Rice Thomas is Darryll's sister, his older sister, and he calls her his rock. Trina, thank you for speaking with us now. And we know that you are in recovery from a stroke, and we're so glad that you're doing so well.
It's okay. Praise the Lord. It's good.
It's good. Yes. And Darryll says you give him great advice. Tell me how you feel about Darryll.
I love him. And she loved me. And my mother, 5 kids. So everybody get together. September, we have to get together, and everybody come together to Darryll. We have to go, everybody go together with Darryll and celebrate.
Darryll, you call her your rock. Why is Trina your rock?
Well, because when I'm really down, no matter what, I call her, and she just pick up the cell phone up and says to me, "Okay, what's going on? I just called to hear your voice," or we just talk because to hear each other's voice. And for one reason, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my sister.
How has she helped you?
Oh, she's the one that They told them to do what I needed to be done to me.
When you were in the hospital?
When I first got shot. He stepped in and taking that control. When my parents wasn't there. And she was, she's always been my big sister.
Trina, you look like you want to give him a hug or a kiss. You can lean over and give him a kiss if you want to.
I know. You're my rock. Oh yes, you get to me. It'd be hard not to be able to talk to her. If I can talk to her every day or every other day, it'd be hard.
Well, we're so glad that you two have each other. And Trina, thank you for talking with us. Can you talk a little bit about those experiences in terms of people disrespecting you because of the chair? Because I'm sure that could help others who might be dealing with this as well.
People try to tell me that, you know, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know nothing about my care. I think I know it all. I feel sometimes after I analyze, it's because I do know what I'm doing. And you're not gonna change my trends of thought. I'm gonna stay focused on me and what makes me keep going. People are people, and you can't change people. Because for me, the human race never ceased to amaze.
Absolutely. Right. There's infinite possibilities there, and I like what you said, that people are people, and you can't change them, but you certainly can inspire them. And I think that people who have been blessed to join us today and to learn more about you and your story, your courage, your inspiration, and your attitude might be a little changed if they were down in the dumps. Hopefully, after hearing your story, they will be inspired. And so I want to thank you so much for this opportunity to visit with you and to speak with you. And we want to thank you as well for joining us. And that's our show. I'm Janice Edwards. Thanks for all that you do to make our Bay Area the great place that it is. We appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Please join us then.